Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. So last 4 videos I have uploaded in unit number 1, financial institutions and markets. First unit, 4 videos I have uploaded on Indian financial system, and unit number 2, 2 videos I have uploaded explaining about financial institutions. What are the functions and features of financial institutions? And the last video I have completed the commercial banks. What are the different types of commercial banks and what are the functions of commercial banks? In this video, I am going to explain you about the recent development in commercial banking in India. Very frequently in examination, a question will be asked. Explain about the recent development in the commercial banking in India. So watch the video till the end because this is very important discussion. I'm going to explain you about developments. So if you have not watched the earlier videos, I suggest you go to the playlist of my channel. Select the subject, financial institutions and markets. Beginning from first video, watch all the videos, get the complete command so that confidently you can write in examination about the subject of financial institutions and markets. Take the screenshot of the points which I have written on the board, then I explain all the points in detail. So the topic in this video is, what are the recent developments in the commercial banking in India? So commercial banking has undergone a huge change in the way of functioning of the banks and also in the services provided to the customers. So earlier the banking system was different, and presently the banking system has undergone a huge change in their functioning and also in the services provided to the customers. Now some of the major developments, one by one, I am going to explain. First one, increased competition. Earlier there was no competition. Now there is much competition in banking sector. Particularly after 1991, the new economic policy in India was passed in 1991, liberalizing the economy. That means many sectors, earlier it was under public sector, now it is privatized. Many sectors. And one of the important sector is banking sector. So after 1991, the government has liberalized, allowed the private sector banks and foreign banks to open more and more branches. So after 1991, that is post-liberalization period, the government has allowed the private sector and foreign banks to start more and more branches. The new private sector banks and foreign banks cannot compete with the public sector banks in terms of geographical area or in terms of number of customers. Still the dominant position is of public sector banks only. But the private sector banks are using technology in order to capture more and more customers. So slowly and steadily, the private sector banks and foreign banks are capturing more and more customers by using latest technology. So at this point of time, even the public sector banks also compete. Otherwise, they will be out of the market. So public sector banks also using technology to provide the facilities, to provide the services to the customers on par with private sector banks. The public sector units banks also had to follow suit to provide the same benefits to the customers. Otherwise, customers will prefer the private banks. They won't go to public sector banks. That's why the public sector banks also has to keep pace with the technology in providing the services. Thus, there is a huge shift from the laid back commercial banking before liberalization to an extremely active and dynamic banking post-liberalization. So before liberalization, the functions, the services provided are completely laid back commercial banks. That means simple simple functions they used to perform: accepting deposits from the public and giving loans to the public. That's it. That was a simple function of commercial banks before liberalization. But after liberalization, the situation has completely become dynamic. The commercial banks have become more and more active in the economy. That is the first development which we see in Indian commercial banking system. Secondly, ATM, automated teller machine. So one of the revolution in the payment system was the use of ATM, automatic teller machine, to remove the pressure of long queues of account holders wanting to withdraw money. So before this 1991, before liberalization, if an account holder wants to withdraw the money, the person has to go to the bank, stand in the long queue, waste his time to withdraw the money from the bank. But nowadays, at present situation, so many ATM, automatic teller machine, ATM has been formed. In this case, an account holder can easily withdraw the money from any ATM. So if an account holder is having an account in particular branch, but he can withdraw the money from any bank's ATM. That is the benefit the people are getting to withdraw the money from the bank by using ATM. That is a revolution taking place in withdrawal of money from bank. Thirdly, speedier check processing. Earlier, before liberalization, it will take a lot of time to process the check. When a check is being deposited, the banker will take time to process the check and credit the account of the customer. But nowadays, the use of MICR, magnetic ink character recognition, and other latest technique has drastically reduced the time of processing of checks, including outstation checks. The new latest techniques are used in processing the checks, due to which the time has been shortened. The time has been reduced in processing the checks, and the problem of check being misplaced or lost in transit has been eliminated. Earlier, in some cases, the checks will be lost in the transit, or checks may be misplaced. All these problems are eliminated now. Now, it has also cut down the time taken for transfer of funds in few hours. Now, due to the latest technology, the funds can be transferred from one person to another person, or one place to another place in a short moment of time. That is through this speedier checks processing. So, three developments I have explained. The first is increased competition. Due to increased competition, every bank is trying to compete in the market to give more and more better services to the customers. And secondly, ATM. Easily a person can withdraw the money from ATM, no need to stand in long queues. Thirdly, speedier check processing. Earlier, the time period to process the check was more, but nowadays, by using latest technique, the processing time has been reduced. Now, internet banking. That is the most important development taking place in commercial banking. Internet banking. Today, almost all banking transaction can be executed from the comfort of your home or any other place, provided the internet connection is available. So, internet banking. That means the banking transactions can be done from any place, even from at your home or any other place wherever you are, provided internet connection is available. So no need to go to the bank to get done his banking transactions. Banking transactions can be done at any place through online banking or internet banking. So we can check the balance, pay the bills, transfer the money, or making investment through online banking or internet banking. So many functions we can do through internet banking. We can check the balance of our bank, we can pay the bills, we can purchase the goods, we can make the investments. Innumerable banking transactions we can do through internet banking. That's also one of the revolution taking place in banking sector, commercial banks. Next one is, and transactions can be done 24/7 without any restriction of banking hours. So before this internet banking, the banking transactions can be executed only during business hours. But nowadays, with the help of internet banking, the banking operations can be performed at any time, 24/7, 24/7, without considering the working hours of the banks. So that is the advantage to the customers. Next, mobile banking. One more development taking place in commercial banking is the mobile banking. No need to have the computer, laptop or internet connection, where we can use the mobile phone also to conduct the banking transaction. There are a number of banking apps. Once you download the banking app on your mobile, at any place you can conduct the banking transaction with the help of mobile. So mobile banking enables customer to conduct banking transaction using mobile phone anywhere in the country. Wherever you go, simply carry your mobile phone and do the banking transactions. Now, many people may not have access to computers. Many people are not aware about how to operate the laptop, or many people are there who cannot afford to buy the computers. For them, mobile banking is very much suitable, very much convenient for them. So people are very comfortable using mobile phones. So mobile banking works on special software, application program. So every bank will have their own app. By using that app, the customer can be able to conduct the banking transactions. So now, digitalization of payment, one of the revolution taking place in commercial banking is digitalization of payments. What does that mean? The most significant development in commercial banking in India is in respect of digitalization of payments. No need to make the payment in cash. We can make the payments online through simply transfer of funds from one bank to another bank. So there are many ways to make the payment, such as there are many methods or ways of making the payments. One by one, we'll see. First one, NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer, NEFT. That is the full form of NEFT. Now, it eliminates the use of checks. Earlier, the funds can be transferred from one person to another person with the help of checks. Now, this NEFT is replacing the checks. No need to use the checks. We can transfer the funds from one person to another person through NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer. Now, NEFT facilitates one-to-one transfer of funds through the online instructions. IFSC code is used for online transactions. So simply, NEFT can be used to transfer the funds from one person to another person, right, without using the checks. Second, RTGS, real-time gross settlement. That is the full form of RTGS. It is specifically used for instant transfer of large value. If the payment is required for 2 lakh rupees or more, then we can make use this RTGS, instant transfer of funds from one person to another person if the amount is large. Now, payments from one person to another. An RTGS instruction once given cannot be cancelled as it triggers the payment instantaneously. One of the disadvantage of RTGS is once RTGS is enabled, it cannot be cancelled. Once instructions are given for transfer of funds through RTGS, it cannot be cancelled because it transfers the funds instantly it will transfer. Now, IMPS, the third method. We have discussed about NEFT, we have discussed about RTGS. Now, one more method of payment, digitalization method of payment is IMPS. That means immediate payment system. IMPS, the full form is immediate payment system. It allows the immediate transfer of funds from one account to another account just like RTGS. There is no difference between RTGS and IMPS. The only difference is if the amount is large, 2 lakh or more, we can transfer through RTGS. But if the small payments are there, no minimum amount, any amount, any denomination, if you want to transfer from one person to another person, we can make use of IMPS. So even small amount of transfer can be done through IMPS. Now next one is UPI, Unified Payment Interface, UPI, Unified Payment Interface. It is an instant real-time payment system developed by NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. This National Payment Corporation of India has started this real-time payment system, UPI, Unified Payment Interface. It enables interbank peer-to-peer or people-to-people, P2P, and person-to-merchant, P2M transaction. The interface works 24/7 and all banking apps, it is regulated by RBI. So this UPI can be used by all banking apps. It is fully regulated by RBI, and this UPI will work for 24/7. That means round the clock, at any time we can use this UPI in order to transfer the funds from one person to another person. Next method is e-wallets. Now e-wallet, it is a software based system. It is a mobile app that securely stores user payment information. So it is an app. E-wallet is an app, software based system. So it is a mobile app that securely stores the payment of a person. Suppose if I open e-wallet, I have downloaded the app from the Play Store, and in this e-wallet I can be able to keep all the transactions. It will store all the payments made by the user. It can be used for making payment instant to a person or any purchases. So e-wallet can be used for making any payment or for making any purchases. Now payment can be made by debiting the bank account of the user. Whenever we use the e-wallet, it will take the money from the bank, it will debit the bank account, and the amount will be credited in the wallet. And from this wallet, the user can be able to make the payments, can be able to purchase the goods. For example, here, this wallet, for example, Google Pay, Phone Pay, etc. transfer money from the user's bank account. So example has been given like Google Pay and Phone Pay. They will transfer the money from the bank account. Alternatively, money can be stored in the wallet itself. Either we can directly pay through bank, or the money can be stored in the wallet in Google Pay and Phone Pay. Paytm and Amazon Pay allow the user to keep a balance in their e-wallet and pay from them. So here the online, transactions can be done through Paytm or here Amazon. They will have their own e-wallet. So a person can transfer the funds from his bank account into e-wallet of Amazon or into e-wallet of Paytm. From that wallet, the person can be able to make the payment. Instead of directly making the payment from bank, the person can make the payment from the wallet of Amazon or wallet of Paytm. Similarly, Ola and Uber allow you to create a e-wallet, load money into it and pay from the wallet every time their service is used. So here the travel services, Ola services or Uber services, they are also having the e-wallet. A person can deposit the money in the e-wallet, and whenever they take the service of Ola or Uber, they can pay from the wallet. This is another method of digitalization of payments. So what are the different methods of digitalization of payments? I have explained: NEFT and RTGS, IMPS, then UPI and e-wallet. These are the few examples of digitalization of payments. Now next one is universal banking. Earlier, the commercial banks used to give only two services: accept deposits from the public and give the loans to the public. That is the only function of commercial banks. But nowadays, they are providing innumerable services. Apart from accepting deposits and lending loans, universal banking, different services are being offered by the commercial banks to the public. Apart from accepting deposits and giving loans, banks were allowed to offer additional services to their customers. The services being offered by banks include investment banking. Nowadays, mutual fund business have also been started by the banks. So mutual fund business is an investment business. So that is also one of the service provided by commercial banks to the customers. Secondly, wealth management, online banking, payment services through NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, etc. Factoring, credit facilities, credit card facilities, consultancy services, mobile banking, etc. So this provision of all the services under one roof is referred to as universal banking. That means all these services are provided by commercial bank under one roof. That's why it is called universal banking. So banking system, commercial banking system is not confined only with accepting deposits and lending loans, but apart from that, so many other services are provided by the commercial bank to the customer. That's why it is called universal banking. So in this video, I have explained you the recent development in commercial banking in India. Inshallah, we'll continue the next topic in the next video.